Hey, what's up, everybody? The Haunted Network hasn't been so active lately, and I'm about to go over with you now the reason for that and why that's probably about to change very soon. First of all, I've been very busy, so has the rest of the group. But I wrote a book called Kava's Magical Roots, and it is about the ghost stories and overall parapsychology surrounding kava, my favorite drink, and the drink that I based my temperance bar that I started back in 2022 around. It's a herb that I found out actually after launching my business that it was first cultivated to communicate with the spirit realm. Folks have been loving the book. Thanks to everyone who's read it so far. But yeah, so this actually ties into this crazy ghost story I'm going to go into now. So, gosh, where do I start? So yesterday, I was thinking about the Haunted Network and how we haven't been so active. I was like, you know what? Is the jig up? Do I still got it? Did I ever even have it? What is it? Right. Anyways, so I'm like, I would love to have a sign, to maybe take my intuition to the next level. You know what I mean? Because it's something I've been cultivating since I began witnessing the spirit realm years back, but not really something I relied on. I'm more someone who wants like tools to do the work for me instead of delving into my own intuition, right? And we have other members in the group who are the opposite for me, and they're fully based on their own intuition. So last night at my kava temperance bar, a customer came in and recognized me from the Haunted Network, which I thought was really cool. And then today, I go to wake up in the morning. I wake up a little bit before my alarm goes off. So I'm in this kind of hypnagogic state, and I'm asking my intuition in this hypnagogic state. I'm thinking, wow, because my business hasn't been doing so well in the economy lately and stuff. I've been having to get all these other jobs. I've been working as a delivery driver, delivering mail to people. So I'm about to go deliver mail, very mundane, boring boring day at my new job, right? Or side job, however you look at it. I just need extra money to take care of my family, right? This book hasn't really been saving my business. So anyways, I'm like, oh, I have to go into work. And I'm thinking to myself, what do I want to be when I grow up? Like, what is my life purpose? And the first thing that comes to my mind, to my intuition, is psychic work. And I'm like, And I've never been one to want to make money off of psychic work. The Haunted Network's always done work for free, or we've actually probably lost money at this point. So I'm like, and I'm not like I hinted at earlier, I'm not the type to even claim to be psychic. Other folks will be like, yeah, Stevie, you're kind of psychic. But I don't get, I guess lately I've been feeling very empathic and whatnot, but these are just natural abilities to me. I'm like, anybody can improve this side of their life and benefit from it, right? That's my stance on it. But anyways, so first thing that comes to mind is psychic work. And then, so I'm in this hypnagogic state, letting my intuition flow. Right after that, what comes to my mind is prison reform. And I'm like, well, yeah, I think the prisons do need reforming, but what? I'm like, I'm not nothing of an expert on this topic. I'm like, why did this come to me? And then my mind wanders, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I feel like there's a woman upset at me for not voting. And I'm like, what does this mean? I brush it off. I'm like, okay, it's time to wake up and go deliver mail for people. Because this is just nonsense. I'm probably just thinking nonsense again. So I go to work, clock in, and my route takes me to Shelbyville, Kentucky after a few stops. And I'm driving into beautiful, historic downtown Shelbyville, Kentucky. It's just, I think, my second time there because it was my second day going there for work. And I am trying to find this one building to deliver a small package. And I'm walking around, there's this beautiful courtyard. I'm like, oh, this is a stunning, beautiful old building. Like, I was like, oh, it's just a charming old building. Of course, I'm like, I wonder if it's haunted, but, I'm just focusing on trying to find where to drop off the package. So I'm get almost lost in this courtyard. I walk around, and I find the entrance finally, and it's like a antique furniture showroom now, and I think also an art gallery, like focused on Kentucky history and stuff. And for some reason, I've been having to go to the restroom like more than usual. So I drop off the package. The cashier woman is super friendly. I'm like, do you mind if I use the restroom, right? She walks me around, and she's like, she's walking me to the restroom, and we get to the first restroom, and the light wouldn't turn on. So then we have to walk to another restroom further away, and she's like, oh gosh, it's giving me goosebumps. And so she's telling me the story about the building. She's like, yeah, this used to be a girls' boarding school forever ago. I'm like, oh yeah, beautiful building. And so I go to the restroom, just trying to hurry because I'm at work, and I'm washing my hands, just thinking to myself, like, I would love for a sign of like, is this place haunted? Because I'm a paranormal investigator. That's what I'm always thinking in old buildings like this. Beautiful, old, preserved building. And I didn't really get the sense, I just felt like, this is a really lively, well-preserved building, like, for being, like, empty most of the time. It's never really busy there. Like, why is it feeling so lively? And I'm washing my hands. I'm like, trying to tap into my intuition. And this isn't really something I practice a lot. And like I said, I've been so busy working all these random jobs and just trying to make ends meet. So I haven't been doing a lot of paranormal investigating. I thought about giving it up, like I said, just yesterday. Questioning, like, is the Haunted Network even gonna remain an organization? So I'm washing my hands, and the word Francis comes to mind, and I'm like, okay, that's a name. Does this building have something to do with France, maybe? And then I let my mind wander, but I'm like, you know what? No, this was like a thought overlay, like that I had not been even thinking about any names, and I had a clear mind. And the name Francis just popped into my mind. So, okay, I wash my hands. I just walk out back to my delivery van. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take 15. I'm like really curious. Like, I'm just going to go on Google, be like, Google Francis, and then Shelbyville, Kentucky, and the name of the boarding school, and one name comes up, and this is where it starts to really get crazy. So the one Francis that was in the results is Francis Beauchamp, who went there to Science Hill Academy in historic downtown Shelbyville, Kentucky, where I happened, one of over 100 stops that I just happened to, and I just wasn't even supposed to work today. First of all, I just randomly got put on this route. And this Francis Beauchamp ended up being, once she graduated from there and moved to the next biggest city, she became an early adherent to the temperance movement. And like I said, I started what some people might even consider the first temperance bar in Kentucky, my business. And that's when I started getting shivers, because I was like, my business hasn't been doing so well. I feel let down. I know a lot of it has to do with the economy and stuff, but I feel a little let down by the community. And I'm like, because I'm seeing businesses in other towns with my same business plan, just like making so much more money, and I'm like just feeling let down because I'm having to do this delivery job, right, to make ends meet. So I'm like, wow, like this spirit who was a huge part of the temperance movement here in Kentucky, like she became the president of the women's temperance group in her city, trained by the national head of the women's temperance group, who was also named Francis, believe it or not. And after she got trained by this other Francis, this Francis went on to just, it spread like wildfire across Kentucky. She started the whole temperance movement in Kentucky. Over 100 new branches of this women's temperance group opened up in Kentucky while she was president of that group. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I'm reading her bio. It's on like the Kentucky Historical Society. Hopefully I'm getting that right, because it's amazing. I'm so glad I got to read this biography online on my break. So I go in right away. I jot down a piece of paper, my email, my name. I'm like Stevie from the Haunted Network. And I'm like, Francis resides here on the paper. I write all that down on a slip, and I'm like, I'm about to go in again to this building and exchange it for a business card if I can. So I go in, and because I'm curious, like, does the cashier think this place is haunted? And I could tell, it's kind of a conservative town, right? So, but she kind of hinted that some people have felt a little uneasy. I would really like to, hopefully they reach out or can give us access. But I go in and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, this name Francis just came to me, and I'm like, this is crazy. Because, and then it turns out, while she was spearheading the Kentucky temperance movement, just as I am now, like, it's crazy. Like, I am literally leading I own the only temperance bar, really, or kava bar. Well, there's a newer one now, but anyways, for a while I was spearheading the temperance movement in Kentucky. Literally over 100. The thing is, she died 103 years ago this month. So maybe she just, from the other side, recognized this kinship with me. That's kind of how it feels. And with other spirits, like my first ever experience, it was at a cycling bicycle tire factory, formerly. And right when I put on my bicycle helmet, a worker from the spirit realm said my name. So I feel this very tight kinship with the spirits who contact me, and that's very normal. For people who get contacted by spirits, overwhelmingly, statistics show it has a positive impact on their life. And I'll tell you, today changed. I'm still getting goosebumps. I have throughout the day, and this was hours ago now. Because I feel like it really did change my life. I was getting emotional earlier just thinking about it. But it gets crazier. While she was the president of this temperance organization, she stood up for prison reform and women's suffrage. The two things that came to my intuition this morning after psychic work came to my mind. Maybe my subconscious already knew what was going to happen in the future, hours into the future. There's no other way I can explain that. And to make it even crazier, where she died 103 years ago this month was Geneva, New York. A very small town right outside of the town where I grew up. Folks, you decide. I'm just going to leave it there, but the Haunted Network's back. We're back, baby.